the top 20 pest control Facebook groups you should join, all on this edition of the Pest Geek Podcast.
Pull out your hose and grab your can. We're about to integrate another Pest Geek Podcast. Hi, everybody. Frank Hernandez here, and welcome to the Pest Geek Podcast, bringing you the latest information on pests, products, and politics from today's leading industry sources to help you start, manage, and grow your pest control business.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the daily edition of the Pest Geek Podcast. I am your host, Frank Hernandez, here every day discussing all things pest. Hey, we're going to be talking about Facebook groups. I did one about a year ago, and a lot has happened in a year, man. We've gotten more pest control groups than we can shake a stick at. There's a lot of groups out there. I mean, we've got pest control groups for pest control crime prevention. We've got the most exciting pest control group. Everybody's coming out with a pest control group, but there's a lot of good ones out there, and they all have a different flavor. They all have different types of people. They're all from different parts of the country. The owners, the admins in these groups are all different personalities, and I think it shows in the groups, and I think that's why it's important to join several pest control groups and be active. And a lot of people that are in, especially the larger ones, are mostly spectators. They're watching what everybody else is doing. They don't comment. They don't interact. We just learn. We just observe, and we just take it all in and apply what we can. And that is awesome. But I think that you're going to be part of a group. You need to be active in it. And a lot of times we don't agree. A lot of times we disagree. A lot of times we get on each other's last nerve, and a lot of time we just want to strangle the guy at the other end of the terminal. But it's all good. Lots of groups to join, and in all different types of capacities for all different types of people. And but before I get into that, I want to get into the daily edition of Harry Says, because this week on Harry Says, or today, Harry came up with a new one yesterday, and I saved it. And it says, nowadays, it's so easy to stand out from the crowd and break from the herd. How? Well, number one, he says, show up early. Yes, don't show up late every single day to work or show up late to everything. You will be known for the guy who shows up late. So show up early. Take the time for others. That is absolutely essential. Always give thanks. Number 4, never quit. Number 5, do good. Number 6, overperform. Number 7, uplift others. And number 8, talk less and do more. So there you go, folks. This week on Harry Says. That was it. It was great. So I hope you guys are enjoying those, and they're helping you out on a daily basis get motivated. They certainly do for me. But go ahead, and we're going to get into the groups, Facebook groups, and I might do one. I'm not very active like on Google groups, Google Plus groups. I'm mostly active on Facebook groups. They seem to be the most dynamic, just from the perspective of how you interact. A lot of the other ones are more difficult to interact in, but this one, the Facebook groups seem to be easier. There's all kinds of groups and all different things. I have a list of 20. They're no particular order based on the groups being good or bad or the number of people that are in it. Just simply a list and with everything in it. And that way you can determine which one is great for you. For me, the top of the list, because of the title, it would be Integrated Pest Management Identification. And what you got to do is when you're in all these groups, please read the rules, because everybody goes in. I know I got people on my group, and all they start doing is posting ads about, their pest control service. And, that's just, a lot of these groups are not geared to that. They're not marketing groups. They're not for promotion. They're for knowledge and understanding and sharing of knowledge. Integrated Pest Management and Identification is one of those. You got a bug you can't ID, you submit it there, and somebody should be able to ID that for you. So learn how to use the groups properly. They've got 2.6 thousand members. We got links, by the way, to if you go to the website on the page, there will be a link on there, and you can go ahead and subscribe to all of these groups. There's a link to them. And these are the ones that I've stayed with for the longest time. The second group is entomology, just entomology for people that are into bugs. And if you want to know about bugs and about different types of bugs and insects and all kinds of things, it's not pest control related, but they've got about 107,000 members worldwide. So chances are, if you've got a pest, you don't know what it is, you might be able to put it on there. Somebody may be able to ID it for you. That is a great resource. Pest control training and education. They're out of the UK, and they're focused on pest control training and education, which is kind of right up my alley. They've got 1,000 members, and like I said, they're UK. And what I've noticed about the UK sites, pest control different in the UK is way, way different than here in the US. Number one, they have way different products, but they're way ahead of us in eco-friendly IPM. A lot of the stuff that we're doing here, these guys have already been doing it for a decade. So, we could learn a lot from people in the UK if you want to be eco-friendly and you want to get into that group where you want to get away from just a spraying chemical. They're not into that over there. So it's a great, great way to see things differently. Also, they got more rodent issues. It seems like when I'm on the groups, they more issues of rodents than we talk about German roaches and bed bugs over here. So wildlife is a big thing over there. You got pest control and wildlife pros, 960 members. They do both, mostly wildlife. There's pestpreneurs with 1.4 thousand members. You got U.S. Pest Management Professionals with 1.9 thousand members, and Pest and Wildlife Control Experts Forum. That one I think is run by Nick Madero, Pest Control in Pueblo, and they've got 2.1 thousand members. Very different flavor in that group. I think he brings his personality in there, and it's just different the way you see people interact than in other groups. Pest Control Fraternity is right here out of Florida, and they got 1.4 thousand members. Wildlife Control Business Builders with 1.2 thousand members. Pest Control Professionals. That one is owned by the guys at Gorilla Desk. And I think that product is amazing. It's starting to come up as one of the preferred products for pest control pros. I think they're doing an amazing job. I'll be honest, what's keeping me from using it is the fact that it doesn't really sync both ways on QuickBooks. And we manage all of our financials in our software, and we do all the invoicing, we do all the receiving, everything, all the financials are managed out of QuickBooks. And the one we use now allows us to sync back and forth. And what we do is we use it for scheduling, routing, efficiency, and then there is no financial data on there. There's no invoicing done by our techs. Techs don't invoice in the field. We do that all in the office, and we pre-invoice everything or auto-invoice everything. And if I had a way that we can do two-way sync, where I can just import all of my customers when I join the app, and then basically use it just for route scheduling, chem tracking, and reporting and everything, and then being able to do the invoicing back, or if we do an invoice on that system, just import it in, or the quotes on the system, import it into QuickBooks, and then manage it from there. I keep my financials in one place only, and very few people have access to any of the financials. I think that's vital. If you're running a multi-route business, you would understand that. So I think it's a great product. I think they got 5.1 thousand members. Very different flavor in that too. It seems to be more customer centric. The people that I talk, when we go on there and I post and, interact, they seem to be very, very, very customer centric, which a lot of other groups are more tactical centric and chemical and product centric. So I think that was a unique peculiarity that I've observed with that group, but they're doing a bang up job. Lawn care and landscape marketing business. So it's, they got about 1,000 members, and it's focused more on lawn care and lawn maintenance and pest control for lawns. I think that is a great one. UK Pest Controllers, a very good group. Like I said, it's very different out of the UK. 1.4 thousand members. I think it's worthwhile you checking them out and seeing the difference in what we do here and what they do over there. I just think that's intriguing. Pest World News Group, 2.1 thousand members. Now, this is about posting news that's relevant to pest control. Don't post about, what do you guys use for, to control German roaches? That's not what that group is for. That group is for news that happens around the world, for pest news. So if you got an article or something that you found, like in PCT magazine, that's the stuff that you post on there so that people will read that stuff. It isn't about self-promotion. It really isn't. Pest control products, very, very dynamic group. If you want to talk about pest control products, that's the group to be in. It's all about pest control products. 930 members, just started, I think, a couple of months ago. And a lot of guys are being active on that. Pest Control Marketing Gold, which is a Hal Coleman's group about pest control marketing, 590 members. But I would suggest you go on there and learn about pest control marketing. And why isn't it so? Because, I analyze a lot of things. And I mean, he's been around forever. Everybody knows who he is. Why doesn't he have that many members? I think most people don't know about pest control marketing. And that's what he does. So I think that, you would be worth your while to check that out and take a look. The Life of Critter McCool, the world's leading bee extraction expert, 3.9 thousand members, very different taste on it's mostly about his life and what he does and, what it's talking about. And I think it's really cool, the things that he posts. I mean, the guy's a brilliant marketer. Doesn't look like it. He's a bee extraction guy. But look at what he's doing, guys, in marketing. I think he is a brilliant marketer of going to market and doing things. And I've learned a lot by just observing him over the last year. Women in pest control. I was looking for a women pest control group and I couldn't find one, so I started one. And I don't have any members on. I think I've got 4 members and I suckered them into getting in there. But women in pest control, there's actually a group called Women in Pest Control. They got 70 members. I think women need to be more vocal. And I think women do a lot of things in pest control that they're not getting credit for. And I'm looking for ways to help, that and get involved in doing all that because I believe it's important. They have a voice, but, hey, be active, get on the group and start sharing it. Then there's Pest Cemetery with, 6.1 thousand members. They're the elephant in the room. Great group. If you want to be, confronted and everybody's got very strong opinions on there. Very challenging group. If that's what you enjoy, well, there's a group there, that is very active in that area. There's also the Christian Pest Control group. If you're a Christian, you're a believer, and you want to share your faith and talk about the things that affect your faith in pest control, I think that's a very good group. And Pest Control Jobs UK, there's for people who are posting pest control jobs in the UK. So there you go, folks. There is the top 20 pest control groups. By the way, there's a link to every one of those on our Facebook. On our webpage at pestgeekpodcast.com. Just go there, and I'm going to put that over and also in the category section so that it's easy to find. It doesn't get lost in the tagging. And that's all I got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Pest Geek Podcast. You guys have a pestacular day. A pestacular day.
Thank you for listening to the Pest Geek Podcast. If you have enjoyed the Pest Geek Podcast, please give us a rating, write a review, or subscribe to the channel. You can join the Pest Geek Society by visiting pestgeekpodcast.com. Thank you for listening. See you next time.